Fight Time Network. Welcome back to Fight Time Network, everybody. If you did not watch this last weekend's fights, it was out of control. Dogs all day, four straight on the main card, leading up to a legendary finishing fight of Dustin the Diamond Poirier's career. Gosh dang, if you had any shot this weekend and took it on the underdog, good for you. How'd you look this weekend, Lee?
Absolutely fantastic. A lot better than a lot of people did. First, aside from the UFC, we were plus 18 units at Fight Time Network for the PFL Africa and the KSW 108 card. We smashed, I think we had 5 bets. We hit 8 out of 10 of them. And that's the thing about this game, guys. You're going to see pickers. You're going to see everything like that. But here at Fight Time Network, we are strategic handicapping bettors. Despite losing 3 out of 5 plays in the UFC this weekend, we still made a profit. We had Vittori's money line. Obviously, that didn't go well. We had Kevin Holland getting the submission. Came close, but didn't go well. And then we had Zell Huber by decision, which didn't even come close. And despite those bad calls, we still made a profit by putting the right amount of units, so the percentage of your bankroll that you're betting on Max Holloway and Patricky Pitbull, and being able to strategically place that. That's what handicapping is all about. We're able to get our subscribers a profit. Not a lot of profit, but definitely not a loss.
Facts. UFC is heading to Abu Dhabi this weekend. Actually going to be on ABC also. So if you have that, you're going to be able to watch. It's going to be headlined by Robert the Reaper Whittaker. And René de Ritter is the main event this weekend. One of the fights that did get canceled was the Movsar Evlaev fight. So we're going to have a 5-fight main card here. Starting off with Nikita Krylov back in the cage, coming off a knockout, 30-10. It's Bogdan Guskov, 17-3. Man, a lot of people see, Reyes knocked him out. Is Reyes back on that run, or did Nikita Krylov not look that good coming off that long layoff, Lee?
Yeah, but ultimately Krylov is also at the end of the string as well. I mean, he's up in the same contention as Dominic Reyes was. And when you looked at Bogdan, man, Bogdan's not on any sort of resurgence. Resurgence isn't even the name at this point in his career. He is on the up and coming, and up is he definitely coming. He's coming off a highlight guillotine choke in his last fight. He has got a bunch of finishes established in the UFC, and ultimately, given what we saw with Krylov crumbling against Dominic Reyes in the last fight, I don't think he's got much to offer with Bogdan. So Krylov, I don't think is going to have the tenacity that Bogdan's going to bring. Dominic Reyes has something to prove, but they're both in the same age bracket. They're both at the same point in his career. And with Bogdan being in a different point in the career and having the finishes and success that he's had in the UFC, I certainly think he's going to take it to Krylov. He has more to offer in the grappling than Dominic Reyes did, and he hits just as hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty much seeing my guess Guskov going to come out, Mean Machine, sleep Krylov in the same style that Reyes kind of see it. Maybe even a little brutaler, because that's just how the way Bogdan fights, my friend. I got him half of my parlay this week. If you got a chance right now, plus money on him. Got him at a plus 160. I feel like that's going to come down to maybe like a plus 120.
Yeah, even money. Yeah,
And it might even flip. You never know. Because
yeah,
what we saw from Nikita Krylov in his last fight, I mean, he got a lot of rust, man. His movements were already weird and kind of different than most. And then not being in the cage and knowing the fight pace compared to training again, just being off for so long.
Yeah.
Guskov, they should have given him a little easier fight to see if he's even worthy. But Guskov, I feel, is going to run right through him, man. Doesn't even need to try for a takedown.
Absolutely. And Guskov's got the youth on his side as opposed to Dominic Reyes, and he's got far more of a grappling threat that's ultimately probably going to lead to it staying on the feet, which also It's not really good news for Krylov.
Right.
So I mean that performance that he had before the layoff with Dominic Reyes must have been so impressive to these bookmakers ultimately to still have him favored. But I think it's all Bogdan all day long.
Moving on to our next flyweight bout. Asu Alma.
But this just in, I think the fight between Almabayev and Temirov is canceled. They're actually giving him Jose Ochoa now.
No, Ochoa. No kidding.
Yeah, so I think I'm not. I think Temirov pulled out, so I think it's Ochoa actually that's stepping in for Almabayev, and Ochoa just had that great. He's coming off that second round finish against Cody Durden. But Cody Durden had a plan which ultimately could have worked. And I think Almabayev is going to put together that same plan that Durden had against Omachaev because it got him through that first round. Certainly, unfortunately, got clipped like a few seconds into the second round, and it was his night over. But I think Almabayev is going to put it together a lot more crisper. And ultimately, I think Ochoa is going to find a lot of struggle with the grappling game Almabayev is going to have. Plus, again, he can crack. He can crack too. So I think Almabayev, I'm going to go with him on this one because I certainly think that he could put together the style that we thought Durden could take to Ochoa. I think Almabayev is going to do it tenfold.
Got you. Yeah, I did not know about that switch. Good catch, Lee. That's why you watch Fight Time Network right there.
Yeah, we find this stuff out on the fly. But yeah, we're not seeing Temirov. We're going to see Ochoa, typical boxer versus a little bit more rounded grappler.
Here we go. You got Lee saving the day, getting y'all's breakdown in there because I didn't even have a clue. But where I was running, that's where next fight was about to be between them two. Moving on from Lee's grace. Shara Bullet Magomedov back up on the scene, 15-1, coming up against Marc-Andre Barriault. I'm not going to bet against the Bullet, man. It's a bounce-back fight. Even though he's coming off against Michael Venom Page, Marc-Andre Barriault is not no Michael Venom Page.
Yeah. And I mean, you see Shara Bullet constantly, like, I mean, he went on that 15 fight win streak undefeated, and the only guy to beat him is the guy that plays his exact game, only better and has more experience with it, and Michael Venom Page. Marc-Andre Barriault does not play that game. Marc-Andre Barriault is going to get in there. He's going to make it dirty, and he's going to try to rough you up. He's going to try to bully you. He's going to try to land heavy shots. And we've seen tons of guys do that before to Shara Bullet, and it does not work out in their favor. He's going to keep you at bay. He's going to get you frustrated. He's going to make you miss, and he's going to counter. And I mean, I love Barriault. I love his fights. They're always exciting. You always know he's going to go for it. But in going for it, it leaves every opportunity to what we see the skill set of Shara Bullet open season.
Yeah, I just feel like Barriault's style plays perfectly into Magomedov's style and what he needs to do. He needs someone to walk forward relentlessly, not cut angles, so he can cut his own angles on him coming forward. And at a certain point, I mean, Barriault would really have to cut him off, and I don't see him being capable for the first 2 rounds. This is only a 3-round fight. I feel like Barriault's going to end up walking into something fancy coming from Shara Bullet. He's going to make it nice. He's going to make it look good, but Barriault's going to fall right into his trap.
Absolutely. Far too many opportunities for Shara Bullet to set up what he likes to do with the way Andre Barriault fights. And I mean, he makes it exciting for the crowd, but I mean, likely going to see somebody get clipped and knocked out here, but I certainly don't think it's going to be Shara Bullet.
And plus, when you look back at Barriault's losses like Stoltzfus, Pfeiffer, Chris Curtis, you could kind of see this one coming, I'd imagine. If Bullet loses this one, I'd be blown. I'd be like, it never adds up on paper ever again. I'd be mad at the freaking universe. You know what I mean? There's no way. It just all adds up on paper. But that's kind of MMA for you, baby. There's always a puncher's chance. That's what keeps us fancy, keeps us excited. Moving on to your co-main event, UFC in Abu Dhabi, Pewter Yan, 18-5, coming up against Marcus McGee, 10-1. Oh man. This one's a hard one, man, 'cause Marcus McGee has looked really good coming into this
Yeah.
fight. He really has, man. Especially his fight against Martinez. He surprised the hell out of me. Oh, because I had a lot of respect for Jonathan Martinez and his whole. Unless Jonathan Martinez just had a bad fight, yeah, Jonathan or McGee just had him guessing that bad. Because Jonathan Martinez is a crisp fighter, man, and he kind of made him look really freaking bad. But then you look at Peter Yan, he looked great against Figgy. Like Peter Yan's back against Figgy. Before
Yeah.
that, he beat the Dong. Only lost to Vishvili and O'Malley and Sterling. Had a little crisp little failure run. 3 straight into those last 2 wins. Thing is, I don't see Jonathan Martinez even beating Peter Yan either, though. I think Peter Yan will make easy work of Jonathan Martinez. And so that made Marcus McGee made easy work of Jonathan Martinez. So where I'm at, is McGee fast enough on the feet? Because I feel like he's a little quicker than Peter Yan, possibly if he's not in super tight. But Peter Yan, if they come in super tight, is going to get him. I don't think we're going to have to worry too much of the takedowns, but can Marcus McGee protect his head and not have to worry about that spin trip? Because Peter Yan just not going to come in with a double leg.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Is Marcus McGee is probably 2 figgies on each other's shoulders, man. Like if you put 2 Davison Figueiredo side by side, then you get a Marcus McGee, man. He is a big guy at bantamweight. Those legs are like tree trunks, man. It is going to be hard to lift weight off them. It's going to be hard to trip them. Plus, the guy's got like a head made of steel, dude. Like he's going to be able to take a shot, and he hits very hard. I think Peter Yan's probably got the faster striking in this, but I think it's going to maybe play a factor of discouragement to Peter Yan when he hits McGee, and McGee just continues walking forward. When he tries to take down McGee, and McGee just stuffs his head down those tree trunks of legs, man. It's going to be a war, but it's going to be a different than what we've seen out of Peter Yan taking on, these lighter, slimmer bantamweights, man. McGee is a big guy at 135, and with the power and takedown defense that he has, I think I'm fading Yan on this one. I really like McGee's shot in order to get this done.
Yeah. I don't even. Oof. I just can't believe that Yan is a minus 375.
Doesn't surprise me, man. Yan has the experience. He's been doubted countless times before. Many would argue that the loss to Sean O'Malley was a complete robbery.
Robbery.
Um,
Aljamain
you know,
close too.
Yeah, he was beating the brakes off of Aljamain in that first DQ loss. Song Yadong, he really did. He's beat Corey Sandhagen. He's no slouch. I mean, he definitely welcomed Figueiredo to the bantamweight division in the worst possible way. But I just think the sheer size, ability to defend takedowns, and how hard McGee is going to hit back and counter ultimately is going to factor into how bad Yan wants it, or what difference in game plan is he going to approach this than he has any other bantamweight fight that he has of recent times.
I'll agree with you. I don't know. I'm excited for this one. See where McGee's at. Might shake up the division. If Yan loses, though, who's he fighting next?
Yeah. Then at the same time, Yan's still in his prime, man. He freaking, he's only
32.
31, 32 years old. And, it's not like he's fighting cancer, man. He's fighting champion after champion after champion, or contender after contender.
No easy fishes
ultimately. But going back to it, I think the size is real with McGee. And the power is something to be feared. We're definitely going to see where he stands in the bantamweight division after Saturday night. But my money's going on McGee. I love that plus money on him.
Got you. I got to look into it more. That's a tight one for me.
Yeah.
Moving on to your main event in Abu Dhabi, y'all, this Saturday. Robert the Reaper Whittaker, 27-8, coming up against René de Ritter, 20-2. This is the second part of my parlay, Lee. Got Ritter in there, him, and Guskov. Anybody that's following, you're only going to get it if you watch this bad boy. What I get? A plus 460, plus 482, Lee.
Yeah, yeah.
Got me 100 smackaroos on there, get 500. That's my pick. I just feel like Ritter's going to be able to mix in the takedowns. And with his reach advantage also. But I never know with Robert Whittaker. But I just don't see him because Robert Whittaker really likes to set traps too. And DeRitter's not going to really have to push forward too much. Whittaker's going to have to come to him instead because just that reach difference 78-inch versus 73, 4-inch in height also. I'm just taking DeRitter. I won't say he necessarily finishes Whittaker. It might go 5 rounds, but it could play into the ground game and Ritter just get up on his back, do the same thing Shemaev did, and that's the wrap. Really bad matchup for Whittaker, I think, stylistically. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, you got to take in the size factor too. Like, I mean, I
Huge,
say this
man.
every time DeRitter fights because there's a lot of, you know, the UFC fans that don't particularly watch other organizations regularly as much as we do at Fight Time Network, that aren't aware that DeRitter was the one championship heavyweight champion and only had one loss to a guy that's undefeated right now. And so a heavyweight championship and probably the second most competitive MMA league in the world. Because I mean, obviously, like I don't think one championship or PFL holds anything to one championship. I think one championship's just outside the level of competition that the UFC is. I mean, you had Demetrius Johnson fighting in there. You had Ben Askren for a little while. But yeah, the one championship heavyweight, and he only ever lost 2 fights there. And he was the title contender. He defended that belt several times. So now he's coming down to UFC at 185 and middleweight. And that size advantage is clear. We saw it against Kevin Holland. We saw it against Bo Nickel, man. Like when he hits, it's different. When he grapples, it's different. It's just a sheer fact that he's used to having to hold his own at heavyweight. Now he's coming into a middleweight division, and ultimately the skill set's there as well. I mean, to be a world heavyweight champion, you know, that there's got to be something there. So ultimately, we're going to see where Whittaker's at this point in his career, because Whittaker's been through some wars, man. Yoel Romero, Israel Adesanya twice over. You know, he just got that severe face injury from Hamzat Chimaev getting his teeth pushed backwards. So it'll be interesting to see where he's at. And then DeRitter's coming off all of the absolute confidence in the world, beating up the up and coming UFC prospect, one of the biggest UFC prospects in recent time, in Bo Nickel, and just you know, making it look like, I don't want to say it made it look easy, but just making you question how. And Bo Nickel's good, and DeRitter definitely made you question of where his skill set was at, man. Like when he throws, it hurts. When he's able to take you down, he's able to keep you there. And I think, like you said, Whittaker is in for some real problems. It'll be interesting to see where he's at. But I think the shots coming back to Whittaker are going to be much harder. And if it gets to the ground, I think Whittaker's in trouble.
Straight up. Couldn't have said it any better, my friend. That is your breakdown. Main card, UFC in Abu Dhabi. Also on ABC this weekend. Not very often. It's on local, whatever, live TV. Kind of a huge deal.
Yeah, don't forget that 12 p.m. start time, Eastern time start time, right, guys? If you tune in at 6, you're gonna be maybe making it to the second round of the main event. So 12 p.m. Eastern time this weekend. We're gonna be up with everything. There's an LFA card. If I can see some lines coming in on some reputable sports books for UAE, I'll put those up as well. If not, we might leave UAE alone ultimately if I can't get it out to enough people that can put it on a regular sports book from state to state. However, LFA is available on all sports books. We're going to put up our card for LFA. And boom. And you know what? I might even put up that LFA card just subscribe to our Winnable. It won't even cost you anything there. We'll throw in the LFA for free this weekend.
Look at Lee handing out freebies. Let's get
Plus
some.
18 units on PFL and KSW. We've landed 7 6-unit plays in a row. We're not messing around. Let's go. Yeah, absolutely. We are on a roll, man. Plus 18 units this weekend alone. 7 6-unit plays in a row, and these include like wins like Max Holloway money line, Steve Garcia money line early. We got a great 6-unit play in KSW 108. Martinek, man, won in the first round. We had feature prelim there. His name's escaping me, but we had 6 units on that, a minus 125. Man, we are making all the right bets and all the right plays. If you're tailing along, you are in a good position, man. Plus 18 units. You know, we're a little light on the UFC, but we're coming back hard on the UFC. But it's MMA. It's Fight Time Network. It's not UFC has their own time network, man. We're about all the fights.
Get some. Alrighty, y'all. See y'all next week, baby.
Hell yeah.
Abu Dhabi. Fight Time Network.